Why, hello there, everyone. Earlier today, we got the actual gameplay trailer for Omni-Man in Mortal Kombat 1. In this case, it is actually titled the gameplay trailer, and it is almost 3 minutes long, so hopefully this one will be a lot more telling than the previous trailer in terms of how Omni-Man actually plays, because in the last trailer, we only saw like 2 strings and 1 special, I think. And I still have no idea what kind of archetype he is, gameplay-wise. So let's watch it and see. I recommend, if you haven't seen my other reaction video, you should go watch that one if you just want to see what my impression is of Omni-Man in the game in general. Because in this case, I've already talked about how he looks and everything like that. So I'm mostly going to be focusing on just the gameplay stuff here. This is a shot from the show, and if I remember correctly, it is from when he went into that portal and invaded that other planet and it destroyed the other planet. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments, but I do recall this shot.
Think, what good would your death
He said the thing.
accomplish?
Inspiring future generations to oppose you.
So last time he was fighting Liu Kang, who is the current defender of Earthrealm, and now he's fighting Raiden, who was the previous defender of Earthrealm, so that is fitting. So we're going to see some Tremor stuff again. I'm hoping to see some Tremor stuff that differentiates him from the Scorpion cameo, because I thought that Tremor was kind of disappointing in the last video. Okay, so I think I was right about this floating state not being just a counter, but an actual stance, right? So on other reaction videos that I watched, I saw a lot of people just assumed that it was a counter because I think it automatically countered a projectile from the Omni-Man reveal trailer, right? But I was thinking, well, maybe it's not just a counter stance. Maybe it's some kind of actual stance, right? It's not just specifically for counters. Because I thought it would be kind of boring if it's just a counter move, because historically speaking, whenever you slap a counter move onto a character, it never really changes the way you play them. It's just more of a gimmick that you throw out every now and then. But in this case, it looks as if he goes into a command grab from the stance, which automatically has me excited because I love playing grapplers. But even more excitingly, because this string right here staggers the opponent for so long. Is that a 1-2? Yeah, wait, is 1 the right hand or is 1 the lead hand, regardless of where the character's facing? I always mix that up. That's why I'm never confident to say 1-2 or 2-1. But it's either a 1-2 or a 2-1 string, or like a back 1-2, something like that. And it staggers them long enough that it gives Omni-Man enough time to go into his flight stance, which combos into command grab, which ends in a launcher? Basic air string. Okay, so this is automatically way more exciting than anything shown off in the previous trailer. Because I was complaining about his one grab in the last trailer, the one in which he slams you from one side to the other, that it didn't have much impact. But I think this is way more impactful because you see rubble from the ground breaking up, and you see the opponent's legs behind them like this. You hear the sound effects. I think this is much better than the other throw animation we saw. So, assuming you just do the command grab raw, right? Assuming you don't combo into it, but you're just in some kind of stance, because maybe you could go into that stance in an Oki situation, and then you can throw them on wake up. I'm assuming it would still lead to a launcher, right? So it's pretty cool having a command grab that would lead to a launcher. That makes me think, or a combo, a command grab that leads to a combo makes me think of something more like King of Fighters than Street Fighter, right? So did he actually... He did not actually automatically enter the counter here when the projectiles touched him. So I'm thinking we might actually have been wrong about the previous trailer. I might have to go back and rewatch it. But I think a lot of people were assuming that in this state he was automatically countering projectiles. But I think in reality he was actually just activating this skip neutral option right before the projectile hit him in the last trailer. Because obviously, as you see here, this isn't in some kind of automatic response to a projectile. He is hitting some kind of option from the stance preemptively. Well, it didn't automatically go into the animation from last time. I think that's essentially just a teleport, so maybe it is a different thing. Was that a real punish, or did they just have Raiden not block? I don't think that's a real punish. I think in this trailer, they're having Raiden not block just to showcase things. But in theory, if you were to do this a little bit more preemptively, you could get a punish. Yeah, that throw. I think they literally made this throw better. Okay, so I think this throw might actually be better than the last time they showed it, because this feels a lot more impactful than what I am remembering. I don't think I would have complained about that in the last trailer if it was portrayed this way, but it might be because of the stage. Maybe this stage in particular, since they're on sort of a, what are they even standing on here? Sort of a rock garden, some kind of gravel or something like that. I think that this stage in particular is making more rubble and dirt kick up, which gives the impression that it has more impact than it really does, right? Whereas on the last trailer, I don't remember this much dirt and debris. So I don't know if this is a stage thing or if they actually updated the move. But regardless, that looks better.
Highly doubt a blind swordsman can kill me.
Sento and I are more than meets the eye.
So that's his same combo starter, right? No, this time he's starting with his rear hand. So that might be a 2-1. Cancel into Tremor Launcher. Air String. He has some side switch potential here. So instead of doing the full air string, he did something that might be a special move, might be another string that makes him switch sides. Want to see that again. That must be a special. And if you can do that from the ground, that is essentially the Goro stomp, right? A Shokan stomp. I should say Shokan stomp instead of Goro stomp because Shiva has that as well, right? So that's going to be so weird if Omni-Man gets a Shokan stomp move before an actual playable Shokan gets put in the game. That's going to be so weird to me, and I think that sort of decreases the chances of Shiva getting added, which is kind of unfortunate because I was wanting Shiva to be in the game. Another launcher. A little pet peeve of mine when it comes to animations in fighting games, but not even specific to fighting games, just animations in media in general. Not even just animations. If you have, sometimes in live action, a guy do this. Whenever you have somebody attack with their knee and they don't point their foot, I know that it probably only bothers people like me. Japanese games seem to get this right a lot more often, but it's probably because Japanese devs are a lot more reverent for martial arts and things like that. But the reason why you would want to point your foot when you do a knee is because it relaxes your calf and it lets you do the knee a lot faster and a lot more smoothly. Whereas keeping your foot like this slows it down a little bit. Plus, just pointing your foot gives a better action line for the animation, weirdly enough. So there's literally no reason to have a character's foot pointed like this. Kind of bothers me. I thought about saying something about it in the last video, but I thought, nah, I don't want to seem overly negative. But because I've already said some positive things about Omni-Man in this trailer, I feel as if I have a little bit more liberty to complain about that. But it's not specific to Omni-Man in this game. You see that in a lot of media everywhere. So now you guys can't unsee it. You're welcome. Yeah, still not seeing anything super interesting from Tremor. Okay, there we go. There's the other cameo ability. The Earthquake that I was waiting for. Right It looks like this is an ambush as well. Well, whoops, accidentally made it full screen. I don't know. What was Omni-Man's pose for the summon? Let me look again. So he curls his arms kind of outwards, like this. He dashes forward. Oh no, he goes into the stance, so maybe it is a summon still. So does Trimmer have any ambush assists? I don't know. A cameo having no ambush assists doesn't sound very fun in my opinion, but I'm glad he has the Earthquake. Do we know if that is an unblockable or just a low? We don't know because they're trying to make it look like a punish, even though Kenshi could have blocked there for sure. Well, that lasts a while. So I wonder, we don't have HUD elements here, right? But I'm wondering if he's choosing to extend this. Maybe you can hit confirm the Tremor Earthquake into more stuff if you want to spend more cameo meter. It doesn't look as if it leads to any combo, right? Because it's going to knock them away. You don't get any good Oki. Well, normally you wouldn't get good Oki off of it, but with Omni-Man, it looks as if he does kind of get Oki from here since he can fly in. I don't know if this first part in which he rises up is part of the move, or if this is another way he can go into the fight stance. Because if you ask me, my instinct is that him rising up here is not part of the move in which he flies full screen. Because this transition here from this pose to that, to him flying forward, doesn't seem very smooth, right? I think if this were all one move, there wouldn't be this weird awkward part of him leaning back like this once he gets to the top. So I think this might be another way to go into the fight stance, but instead of keeping you low to the ground, it raises you up. And then, at the earliest possible opportunity, he did an option from the stance to fly himself forward. Not too dissimilar from a Raiden fly, now that I think about it. So I wonder if that's real Oki. Because if that's the only thing that you can do from this far away, then the opponent is always going to try to block this. Unless it's super plus, right? Because if it's plus, you would just do this every time, and then even if they block it, it would be your turn. Leads to full combo, it looks like. That was a new move, I think, that super low punch. That one. Is that another command grab? It starts out looking as if it's going to be a cameo throw. But then he picks you up and drops an asteroid on you. Hey, I'm not complaining if that's another command grab. Maybe that's a command grab that you're supposed to threaten from neutral. So you don't have to go into a stance to threaten a command grab, right? That would be cool in my opinion because this game doesn't really have a real grappler yet. I was playing Reiko originally because I knew that Reiko had a command grab, so I was wanting to play Reiko like a grappler. But weirdly enough, even though Reiko does have a command grab, and even though it does lead to a lot of damage with the Darius cameo, Reiko's projectile is so good. It's probably, like, maybe not the best projectile in the game, but it's up there for one of the best projectiles in the game. So for most of the match, you're just sitting there zoning with Reiko, which is not why I want to play a grappler. I don't just want to zone all day with a grappler. So I ended up maining Shao Kahn instead. And even though Shao Kahn doesn't have a command grab at all times, he does have a command grab when his axe is on the ground. And he actually does, at least I thought, I was under the impression that he has an actual tick throw. I think somebody told me later that that's wrong, but I need to go back and check. But anyways, Shao Kahn, when he has his axe on the ground, feels more like a typical grappler than Reiko, in my opinion, which is why I've been playing Shao Kahn. But if they add Omni-Man as an actual grappler, then that means this game will have an actual premier grappler that can threaten grabs at all times, that doesn't sit back in zone like Reiko. So there's a decent chance Omni-Man might actually be my main in this game. Which is why I am specifically watching these videos and making analyses.
The cocky one. You're about to be humbled. Ha! By a man in a cape?
Okay. We saw that starter before. So he's canceling into stance here. Right? Canceling into stance. Wow. That option from stance might only really have practicality in combos, right? Well, maybe it only side switched because Kung Lao was falling. And as he was falling, Omni-Man was able to go under him, right? Because this might actually, well, maybe not. I was going to say this might be the same stance move that we saw when he went full screen to attack someone on wake up. Or to attack someone when they were waking up. But I don't know. I think we saw him lean back a little bit. Yeah, we saw him lean back a little bit in the last stance move. This time he doesn't really lean back. This time he just immediately leans forward. And I think in the last move, he actually turns his body horizontally, which is why I said it's like raid and fly. But in this case, I don't think it's the same because he's still standing upright. I can literally just go back and check if I don't mind making this video longer. Yeah, see, he leans back. Yeah, so this is a completely different move from stance. So we're seeing a lot of his stance moves in this trailer. Pretty good amount of gameplay here.
The cocky one. You're about to be humbled. By a man in a cape? I do not think so.
I'm just trying to think what practicality this stance move would have outside of combos. Yeah, that is... Isn't that a similar animation to what he did when he seemingly automatically... I didn't mean to put quotes around seemingly. I was going to put quotes around automatically because we don't know if it was automatic, but then I chose to say seemingly, so ignore the quotes. Isn't this similar to the animation he did when he seemingly automatically countered a projectile with his stance in the last trailer? Yeah, so that might be a special. That he has access in stance and out of stance. When he teleports behind you and grabs your neck. Ooh, a low starter. I don't know if that would be hit confirmable. Yeah, that's so fast. I don't know if that's a hit confirm. Maybe there's something else you can do to hit confirm it. Okay, yeah, that's not a cameo thing. I saw the ground break, so I was wondering if Trimmer was showing up, but no. That is a low canceled into some kind of, oh, a clap. It's a Su Hao clap. RIP Su Hao's chances of getting in the game. A moment of silence for all the Su Hao fans out there who wanted him to be added as a playable character, because the only reason he would be added is for the Hulk clap attack, which is what we are practically seeing here with Omni-Man. I was unironically kind of hoping Su Hao would be added as a cameo just so that way he could do the Hulk clap, but it looks as if Omni-Man learned a thing or two from Su Hao. Okay, have we seen that Trimmer ability? That is an actual ambush because Omni-Man is still in recovery from his Su Hao clap. Trimmer comes out of the ground, and then it looks as if he meter burns. That's a meter burn, right? It looks as if he meter burns him to throw... Ooh, a bouncing projectile. The way it bounces kind of makes me think of a Gordo from King DDD in Smash Bros. So, I wonder what would have happened there if he didn't meter burn this. Okay, so there's no way this was a hit confirm. I don't think he... Yeah, there's no way that he hit confirmed this bouncing spike ball into the teleport grab. But he knew it was going to hit because he saw Kung Lao in an animation. But this is definitely a lot more inspiring than what we saw in the first trailer. Because seeing this actually makes me think about what other kind of things you can do with Omni-Man and Trimmer together. Also, his Suhao clap, I think that might be sort of a projectile. Is that before it or after it? Yeah, it looks as if that might have a hitbox that goes out maybe to mid-screen. So, I think Omni-Man might have some sort of zoning. Okay, that does look automatic. What the heck? And it's not just automatically countering projectiles. He's literally dodging strikes. So do you just have to grab him? That seems a little OD if you have to grab him out of it. It's not like an armor stance that can be broken, right? Because, you know, a lot of fighting games will have armor stances, and you'll see people throw the armor stance a lot. You'll have people facing off against a character with an armored stance, and they will grab the character out of an armored stance as an answer to it, right? But even so, that doesn't mean that a grab is the only answer, because a lot of times with these armor stances, there's usually a way to break the armor too. Whether that be hitting the opponent with a low or doing 3 hits or more, right? A lot of times armor will break if it's a certain amount of hits or a certain amount of damage. But it looks as if in here, you literally have to throw him. I don't know what else you could do. If he dodges projectiles and strikes, you just have to grab him. That's crazy. Unless he is manually timing that, but that looks automatic to me. Let me look at it again. If you are manually timing that, then that is kind of interesting, because it means that he would definitely be a character that is way better if you are familiar with all the characters in the game. Because if you are having to manually time this dodge, it means you would have to become familiar with all of the characters' timings on their strings if you want to actually use this dodge effectively, right? Or at least you would have to learn the timings on the strings of the most popular characters, right? I don't know if NetherRealm would do that, though. I don't know if they would make such an expert character. You usually see that type of thing in 3D fighting games more. Like, for example, Amy in Soul Calibur 6, she had a guard impact. It's called guard impact in Soul Calibur. It's basically a parry. She had a parry for pretty much every type of attack in the game, but you have to know what your opponent is wanting to throw out at you for you to actually effectively parry it, right? Because otherwise you'll just throw out the wrong parry. So if this is manually timed, it reminds me of that sort of thing. It being a character that is way more valuable in the hands of somebody extremely familiar with the game, but I don't think NetherRealm would do that. I think this looks automatic, which might be kind of a scrub killer. I think that's the first time we're seeing a Tremor's cameo throw. Okay, what was that? It's like the Crystal Tremor variation from Mortal Kombat X. Just speaking about the visuals here. So this is a projectile reflect. Okay. Not too dissimilar from Motaro. It's another summon. Not too dissimilar from Motaro. I think Omni-Man was actually able to hit confirm that because he can skip neutral so easily. Let me see. So he goes into stance and then does maybe a meter burn version of a move from his stance. Yeah, Kenshi is still in a stagger state here, so that is a hit confirm. So he can hit confirm a reflected projectile from full screen. That seems pretty good. Oh, the chest bump. We haven't seen that one yet. He has a lot of options from stance. It seems as if when they designed this character, Omni-Man, they thought to make him a stance character. Not... yeah, I guess technically a stance character. But basically, usually when I say stance character, I think of a character with multiple stances. But they designed him to revolve around this one stance. And it seems as if everything he does revolves around this stance, including having command grabs from it. So now I'm actually seeing the vision they had for him, which makes me a lot less worried that Homelander is going to be super similar, because I don't think Homelander would be a stance character like Omni-Man, right? So automatically, Omni-Man is going to be way different, not just in terms of the animations of Omni-Man being a bit more, aggressive and in your face, and Homelander being more of a zoner. But I think in terms of just the core gameplay of having a stance versus not having a stance, I think Homelander will be a lot more like an Injustice character. Omni-Man so far doesn't seem too much like an Injustice character. He just seems like a character that is skipping all neutral, which makes him more like Smoke from MK9 or MKX. I was kind of disappointed with Smoke in this game, MK1, not because he's bad per se, not because he's designed poorly per se, but the reason why I liked Smoke in MK9 and MKX is because he could skip neutral and punish any kind of zoning. He was such an anti-zoner, right? And so now with Smoke in MK1 being how he is, I kind of feel as if that's missing from the game. Even though the game definitely gives you plenty of ways to deal with zoning, it kind of is missing a character that can literally just go right on top of you as soon as you throw out a projectile. So I'm kind of getting a little bit of Smoke, of MK9 and MKX Smoke in Omni-Man's game plan here. Fatal Blow. Have we seen this yet? I'm just trying to see if he has some kind of unique, mechanic with the Fatal Blow. So that wasn't the active hitbox. Wait, does that flash mean armor? But it never looked as if he got hit. So what is that flash for? I don't know. It wasn't active when he went through him. So it looks as if the startup of his Fatal Blow has iframes, and then he goes into the armored state of Fatal Blow. So his Fatal Blow, even his Fatal Blow might be really good at anti-zoning. If you just hold on to it, it'll pretty much prevent the opponent from doing projectiles, at least at certain distances. So we see Tremors. That's funny. Why does Kenshi bounce all the way back up after the first hit here? Bounce. That's funny. Oh yeah, we saw this already. Yeah, that's a good one. We already saw the train fatality. Are they showing it off again? The fact that they're showing off the Fatal Blow from the last trailer and the same fatality makes me think that this trailer was actually... Maybe, I was going to say, maybe this trailer was made before the Comicon trailer, and they decided to make the Comicon trailer afterwards just to give something for the Comicon viewers. But if that were the case, then they probably would have just shown this, right? So maybe it's because they knew that the Comicon trailer wasn't very satisfying, and so they wanted to add the fatality and the Fatal Blow from the Comicon trailer into this, so that way this trailer will be the definitive Omni-Man trailer, and now there is no reason to go watch the Comicon trailer, because this has everything from the Comicon trailer plus more. This time it's on Kenshi, though. Also, I didn't notice it the first time, because I was just so surprised that they would have a fatality that takes you to another part of the map. You probably have to wait on a loading screen on the Switch version when he takes you to the subway. But on the left here, it says Boone and Tobias, obviously being the last name of Ed Boon and John Tobias, right? The co-creators of Mortal Kombat. But that is because this wasn't just made as a joke for this fatality. This is actually present in the subway stage from previous Mortal Kombat games. So they combined the scene from Invincible with a stage from previous Mortal Kombat games. I thought that was really clever when I saw that it said Boone and Tobias there. Okay, we did not see the full fatality last time. This is a lot better. Holy cow. Yeah, this has impact way more similar to the show. So the rotating shot, and then the shot right behind the head. Yeah, see, this this was missing from the last trailer. That's why I was thinking, man, it seemed a lot more impactful in the show, but I was assuming it was just because of the context of the show, right? And also because of it just being a 2D medium, it's going to look a lot more impactful in certain things, because with 2D animation, you can exaggerate certain things a lot more heavily. But I think actually it was because it was just lacking some of these shots. So right behind the head, and then the profile view from outside, that's really good.
Fatality.
I think that's actually the best fatality in the game, which is kind of cheating because they're taking it from another show, but still. I'm not usually somebody that cares about fatalities in Mortal Kombat games. I'm usually more about the gameplay, but I actually think that one is pretty great. Seeing the extra shots that were missing from the Comicon trailer, I actually think now that this is an accurate portrayal of the scene from the show. The bowling ball. Cameo fatality. That's funny. Is that a classic fatality for Tremor, or is that new? I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. I'm not super familiar with Tremor's origins because I've never played a game with him before MKX. MKX was my intro to Tremor. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I actually am feeling way better about Omni-Man in Mortal Kombat 1 now after seeing this trailer. And I'm glad that I'm actually excited about stuff in a Mortal Kombat game, because I was so not into MK11, right? And MK11 lasted for, how long was it out? 4 years before we got MK1, something like that. And especially because MK1 has a lot of not great stuff about it. Literally everything about MK1 other than the actual gameplay is just not great, right? Well, the stages look really good too, so I don't really have a complaint about the visuals. But MK1 has so many quality of life features and things like that missing from the game. And I was originally going to make a video complaining about it, saying all the stuff it's missing. But I see a whole bunch of other people have caught on to it as well, and they are making videos. People more popular than me are making videos complaining about the problems with MK1. So I feel as if I don't need to make a video anymore. I think it's in the public knowledge now, so I don't need to be the one to tell them. So I'm glad people are recognizing that and giving NetherRealm some pressure to fix those things, right? So I'm glad that in the midst of all that, there's actually something being added to the game that has me super excited to play in Omni-Man, right? Hopefully by the time I get into the game and play Omni-Man, because when is he getting added? Pretty soon, right? November 9th. Yeah, that's pretty soon. I don't think I'm going to play him on release. Maybe I'll mess around with him just a little bit. But the reason why I don't want to play him on release is because Gundam Evolution is getting shut down at the end of the month, and I have been streaming that on Twitch and multi-streaming it to the other YouTube channel. So if you're wondering where the YouTube streams are on the Tanuki Tussle channel, it's because I'm just putting them on the other channel for now. And so I want to get as much Gundam Evolution gameplay as possible before the game gets shut down. But then once Gundam Evolution gets shut down, then I will go back to fighting games. So by the time Gundam Evo gets shut down at the end of November, so at the start of December, I hope that by then Mortal Kombat 1 has a lot of the features that you would expect to be found in a Mortal Kombat game, right? Like normal lobbies, maybe they added that already, I don't know. You guys can let me know. But, you know, I hope they increase, or I hope they make the netcode better and add some training mode features and make the lobbies better, that sort of thing, right? So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. How long is this? 33 minutes? Yeah, definitely longer than the last trailer reaction / analysis, just because they gave us so much this time. But let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know if I missed anything, and I will see all of you guys later. So bye for now.